Hi, Diane. Thank you for coming.
Okay, well, I'm not quite sure what to do with this. Just let me tell you that I was pulled over for weeding, and so they told me that my license was going to be suspended. And when I came here, they told me that I had to get an evaluation. When I came here, the woman out at the front desk said just that I had to take a test before I came to you.
Right.
So I took this. I guess it's a few questions about my drinking,
Mhm.
and but I just want to explain that I was seeing my son in Buffalo, and I had probably three margaritas,
Okay.
and then I got on the road and was driving back to Erie, and they pulled me over and told me I was weeding, so they said then I had to do this. So I guess I should just give this to you.
I'll take this. Thank you.
Okay.
I want to thank you for filling it out. How did you find the actual checkup itself?
Well, I don't know. It's it's asking me about drinking. I haven't thought about a lot of these questions before.
Okay. I see what your score is here. Would you like to go over it together?
Sure, it's good.
All right. Well, as per this checkup, it looks like you scored a 13,
Okay.
which is about medium. So for individuals that score 13, what this is indicating is that you're at least at risk for developing some alcohol-related problems, and that you may start to experience some difficulties as it's related to that.
Uh-huh.
What do you think about that?
Well, I hadn't thought I had any alcohol problems, but I guess if this test is indicating that I will or do, then I'd certainly I'd
Well-
be open to hearing more.
Yeah, well, it's definitely indicating you're at risk for developing some alcohol-related issues, and
Okay.
it sounds to me from reading this, should I say, it looks like we might be able to do some things to curb that. But let's look at some of these answers first.
Okay.
I see here that for the third question, it says, how often do you have 4 or more drinks on one occasion? You put monthly. Could you tell me about that?
4 or more drinks on one occasion. Well, occasionally, I usually have a couple glasses of wine with dinner, and occasionally I'll just, then have a couple margaritas after that. So I would say that happens about once a month, maybe every holiday. They usually have holidays once a month and so on.
Okay. So more towards holidays, you're more likely to have 4 drinks or more.
Yeah.
Okay. And have you ever thought of that to be as something that's unusual, or is it something, a tradition you've always had?
Well, I think I've been drinking more than I used to. I certainly didn't used to have 2 glasses of wine at every meal.
So lately it's been more frequent.
Yeah, I would say that.
Okay. Would you be able to tell me what if there's anything that's been happening more frequent, happening lately that's contributed to drinking a little more frequently?
Well, I'm alone more. I mean, the son, he's in Buffalo now. He's just going to college, and I guess I'm feeling more like I have more time
Okay.
instead of having to fix things for him or do what I need to do for him.
Okay, I understand. I see here also that the question was, how often during the last year have you had feelings of guilt or remorse during drinking? You put less than a month, less than monthly. Could you tell me a little about that?
Well, I think alcohol is expensive,
Mhm.
and I think I go through tequila fairly much more quickly than I used to. And so, occasionally I'll get guilty about that, like I could be spending the money on painting the door or something.
Right. So what I'm hearing is it sounds like you might feel like you may be mismanaging money to a degree with respect to alcohol.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Any other feelings of guilt or remorse surrounding it, aside from the financial aspect?
No, not so much guilt or remorse. I think I feel sad. I miss my son.
Sounds like you guys were close, or are close, should I
Yeah.
say. Are you in contact with him often?
Well, he's studying, so not so much.
Okay. I'd also like to look at number 8, and the question was, how often during the last year have you been able to remember what happened the night before because you had been drinking? Here you put less than a month. So it doesn't seem that it's that frequent, but there have been times where you haven't been able to remember what's happened after drinking.
Well, I'll watch shows when I'm on my celebration days. Once a month, I'll watch shows, and a lot of times I'll try to tell somebody what happened in the show, and I can't remember. So that's what it is.
Okay. Are there other instances in which maybe you couldn't remember certain facts about the day that you contribute to drinking?
Well, I don't know whether I attribute those to drinking or not, but certainly my memory's not as good as it was.
Okay. That makes sense. Let me read to you also number 10 is the last one I'd like to review with you. It says, has a relative or friend or a doctor or other healthcare worker been concerned about your drinking or suggested you cut down? And you put yes during the last year.
Well, my son, even if he's fixing margaritas, he will tell me that I shouldn't be drinking them before I get on the road. So that's the relative that's expressed some concern.
Have you guys had this conversation often?
No, I mean, I go and see him maybe once every 3 months. So he knows I like margaritas, so he'll fix me margaritas, but they'll usually be before I leave, and he usually expresses concern, so probably about once every 3 months.
How far is the trip from where you live to where his college is?
About 2 hours.
About 2 hours. So you guys will get together, spend some quality time, and then towards the ending of your stay, you'll have a drink or he'll fix your margarita, and then you'll get on the road.
Yeah.
And that sounds like the scenario that probably lets you being pulled over.
Yeah, it is.
I'm wondering if in lieu of what's happened and kind of in lieu of what this assessment has highlighted, what do you think about the connection between with that particular activity and the driving home?
Well, I think it's a wake-up call, that I shouldn't be combining the two as much as I am. So I know they're going to ask me to do something as far as treatment goes.
Right.
To get my license back, so I imagine that you have a program here that I can sign up for or something.
We do have some services you can sign up for, and what I'm hearing is it sounds like you're maybe open to something like that.
Sure.
Which I think is really important for our success together.
Well, it's embarrassing, I hate telling people that I was pulled over for weaving.
These things happen, and I think it's very important that you're here and that you're speaking to me about this particular issue, and I think it's even more important that you're willing to do something about it. And I think together we could have some success.
Okay, well, wonderful. It's great to hear that. Thanks so much for doing this with me.
Absolutely. You feel like you understood? Did I explain this clearly enough?
Yeah, I think you did. I'm totally open because this has never happened before. So.
Okay.